Justice, it means different things in different contexts for me personally. It can mean retribution.
It's to create fairness.
A belief about how things should be in the world.
Well, we are expected to apply the laws of science to the laws of man.
You want to be the person that is able to balance the scale.
And I've still yet to find a definite answer, and I'm still searching. So, when I find out, I'll let everybody else know.
I am the first one, I'm an only child, so I'm the first one to attend college.
Everywhere I looked online, the #1 program was here at John Jay.
And John Jay actually for me was perfect because they have all the courses required for medical school, but they are a forensic science program. So I actually greatly appreciate that in hindsight, because if I had gone for a pre-med program, I would be dull, I think.
It attracts a certain kind of student, and not the ordinary student who's out for profit. It usually attracts the students who are interested in serving the public and the greater good.
We live in a culture that involves both great art and terrible crime. These things come together. They come together in Dostoevsky. They come together in The Great Gatsby.
I mean, a little bit of Dickens would go a long way toward helping some of the Bernie Madoffs of the world maybe understand what we're doing.
Any one class you might take in philosophy will be completely different because one person decides to focus on one aspect. I read Martin Luther King's letters from Birmingham jail in philosophy class.
Sometimes we learn things one way, so when we're presented with a new idea, there's a lot of resistance. And I think that's the part that I enjoy the most, is the resistance.
And I personally was opposed to affirmative action. And then we spent the entire semester just looking at it and why it's not perfect, but it works for the most part right now. And he flipped me on my head when it came to that.
I don't want to say that the students here are more motivated than they are in other colleges, but I will say that obviously they don't take it as much for granted.
I do think they are challenged by their demanding schedules because many are working full-time or part-time.
When you think about the alternatives and the fact that these students are getting a relatively inexpensive, high-quality education, I'm really proud of the kinds of changes that we make in their lives. Most of our students are first-generation college-goers or immigrants, and this education's critical for them.
In the forensic science program, there's a great amount of suffering due to studying and staying inside.
The library is my best friend, I have to say. There are nights when you'll be at the library until it closes, until the security says, unfortunately, you have to leave. And I'll be looking at them like, 15 more minutes.
I've had students who, day one, they're not really sure what they want to do. And I'm proud to say that some catch that sociological bug.
My personal research is violence against women in Colombia.
I think research is life-changing. Picking up the phone, being on an interview, asking questions from, let's say, the Deputy Attorney General of the Dominican Republic on the status of domestic violence in the Dominican Republic is very empowering for students.
What I really try to do is treat my students as scientific collaborators, going to the literature, seeing what other people have done, and then developing a series of experiments or other research studies with them.
When you work so closely and work for so long with one person who really is trying to nurture you and get you, to publish.
With many of them, it's a peer-reviewed publication. The research reaches that point.
Research experience at John Jay, coupled with the teaching, allowed me to think that I could move on to higher education past the bachelor's.
I found out that I had won the Pulitzer Prize when I was sitting in a college-wide faculty meeting right here at John Jay. And I was called out of the room and told about it, and I sank to my knees. It was an extraordinary moment.
So aren't we lucky? All of us who care about this institution recognize that it's going through a period of remarkable change. It really is a fundamental transformation of the college. So we are, in essence, reshaping this institution that we all care about and getting it ready for the next generation.
There was once a wise man, his name was Moses Maimonides, who listed the various kinds of charity that a person can perform for another person. At the near the very top of the list was teaching. The reason for that is you can say something during a lecture one day and forget about it 10 minutes later. But a student can come back to you 10 years later and say, I never forgot what you told me that day. That's the joy of teaching.
My name is Nicole Ponzo. I am a second-year graduate student, and I'm a forensic mental health counselor major. I chose John Jay because it is the best in its field for everything that I'm interested in. I started off my journey as a forensic science major, and it was the best in the country for that. And now I've moved into psychology, and it is still the best in the country for that. Plus, the price is pretty good. What I love about John Jay is its diversity. There's so many different people here. I've met so many interesting people to network with. I've worked on research teams, and it's been really interesting to make those connections, and I think there's a lot of those students I'll still talk to years later. My favorite place on campus happens to be one of my offices, is the student government office, because I spend all of my time there. I've had a lot of fun with the students that I've met there, and a good place to joke around, but also to get serious and to work on issues that are important to the students here. I am a leader. I am John Jay.
The atrium, I think, is really beautiful, and as soon as you enter it, you're like, wow, I'm here. It's a college. My name is Brian Monsanto. I am a junior here at John Jay, and I'm studying philosophy. I think transcendentalism is a pretty appealing philosophy. It really appreciates nature, which is what we are. I'm definitely doing a lot better in this school compared to my old schools. I'm part of at least 8 clubs, and I became an executive for one, as you can see, the Dominican Student Association. What I love the most about John Jay would have to be the welcoming community. Everybody's great. There's always something to do. If you don't find anything to do, that's on you, because there's literally everywhere you can find something. Whether it's academically involved, friendship involved. I don't know how to put that into words, but we're a big family. I am grateful. I am John Jay.
Hi everyone, my name is Benedicta Darte. I am a rising senior and my major is international criminal justice with a minor in political science. I chose John Jay because I wanted to do law, and the name criminal justice just caught me, and I'm glad I came to John Jay because everyone here is driven for justice, and that's what I want to do. My dream is to become an attorney, an international attorney. Someday work in The Hague. Jaywalk, I love to jaywalk. Being in tune with nature just works for me. It's a lovely experience. You should try it. I love the fact that there are so many opportunities in John Jay, and people just get the chance to do wonderful stuff like intern at really great places or get really, really cool jobs. I love the fact that the professors actually are concerned about the students. I love the fact that the students are so diverse and they all love each other. Everyone in John Jay is working together for your good. Me Ganini. Makuma swadi and said John Jay students in Abeko school papa. No many patitri dache. I am passionate. I am John Jay.
My name is Jacinda Gonzalez.
Gabriela Mungase.
I'm Jared Thomas.
Albert Carolyn.
Nancy.
Steven.
Tasia.
Veronica. Taras.
Zelion. I chose John Jay because I wanted to be a lawyer.
I want to know how to improve the world through justice.
I've always wanted to come here since I was little.
I like a challenge.
I'm trying to follow my sister's footsteps, and she's a cop.
I would like to be an advocate against human trafficking for women and children.
It's been my dream.
I want to help people on a very basic level, and investigating financial fraud helps people.
What I love the most about John Jay is that I'm able to be involved in activities.
I love that there's engagement.
We meet different people.
I love that there are other socially awkward students here that I can connect with.
I love the food in the cafeteria.
I love my club, West Indies Massive, and I love the people that are in it.
Now it's my second home.
I love how approachable people are.
I love a lot of things about John Jay, believe it or not. The faculty, they care so much about the students and they're so involved with how they participate and kind of encourage you to want to be a better student, and I really love that about the professors.
What I love about John Jay is the fact that you have the ability to socialize, not only that, but as well learn while socializing, and that mentoring is always available for you.
It's not only about law, it's about a whole bunch of other things. So it's about the whole networking aspect of being at John Jay.
My favorite place,
the 8th floor,
where all the cushions are. You just jump on it and just rest.
Because they have couches and the view is amazing.
My favorite place on campus is obviously the Jaywalk.
It's like a small piece of Central Park on the roof.
It's gonna sound cliche and nerdy, but the computer lab and the library are pretty useful. especially when you're in a pinch and you have a paper due last minute. If you procrastinate like I do not recommend procrastinating.
The two different theaters we have, the Black Box Theater and the Gerald W. Lynch Theater.
I like the new memorial that was just put in for 9/11.
We have a women's center that's really supportive, and it's not really just for women, but it's for all the people. It's a really accepting environment. You will be welcome in this college.
I think the most meaningful experience I've had here is meeting the great faculty and students that work and are part of the clubs at Club Row in the Center of Student Involvement and Leadership. Through that, you get to learn how to be a leader, how to be organized, how to be a team player. So it kind of brings everything together in one big nutshell.
Humanities and Justice.
CIS Computer Information Systems.
English and Japanese.
I am John Jay.
Forensic psychology major.
I am John Jay.
International Criminal Justice and also minoring in fire science.
Forensic accountant and public administration on the Inspector General track.
I am John Jay.
Political science.
What was the other thing?
I am John Jay.
I am driven.
Multi-talented.
I'm fierce.
I'm determined.
Ambitious.
Adventurous.
I am ready to accept this challenge.
I am John Jay.
I'm John Jay.
I am John Jay.